think it does have the potential to do what Martin McCauley did to Jared Anderson. Maybe it's too early, or maybe he passes with flying colours, and that's why you got to watch it and find out. But one thing I will say about Moses is he's a very good fighter, good little boxer, good puncher, and a lovely kid.
Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King himself, couldn't hide his reaction watching Moses in beast mode. That training footage was terrifying. The speed, the power, the intent. Moses ain't just prepping for Whitey, he's prepping to take over the heavyweight scene. Adam Smith is rattled. He's trying to stay diplomatic, but the way he dances around his words shows it all. Moses Itauma isn't just very good, he's looking downright dangerous. The fear is setting in. This isn't just a fight anymore, it's a potential demolition job.
He's very, very good, Moses Itauma, so some people might say he'll get rid of Dillian Whyte like he has the others. Maybe not. Maybe Dillian's too much for him at this stage, which is why it's a.
Now, if Smith was nervous, Tony Bellew takes it even further. This sounds like a straight-up warning to Whyte. Bellew ain't hyping Moses. He's sounding the sirens. You can feel the concern in his tone. This isn't a routine analysis. It's a heavyweight warning.
But he's the next in line. I think he's the future of the heavyweight division. I think he's an outstanding talent. I think he's got a good team around him. Ben Davison and Lee Wiley. Wiley is the brains that study everything. And they use what we call video analysis now in boxing. They're the one team that use it to...
Now that's brutal honesty. Chisora doesn't sugarcoat a thing. He basically laughs off Whitey's chances. Saying you've got more chance winning the lottery? That's not analysis. That's surrender. Moses has trained so hard, so viciously, that even seasoned war dogs like Chisora are backing off. That training has everyone shook.
I was 24 years old, who's got always faculties right, getting trained by one of the best trainers in the United Kingdom. And then, mate, it's like, you got more chance of winning the lottery than you beating that Moses Itauma, let's be honest about it.
And just when you think it couldn't get scarier, Adam Smith explains exactly why Moses is such a nightmare to face. This is where it gets terrifying. Moses isn't just fast, he's surgical. Commit too soon? He slices you up. Stay cautious? He steamrolls you. Adam Smith breaks it down perfectly. Moses is a walking trap, and there's no way out. That training camp has turned him into a predator, and Dillian Whyte, he's the prey.
Fabio Wardley. Now, Dillian had a slightly more experienced amateur career, but not much. He's learned as a professional, really, and funnily enough, he mentored Fabio Wardley. So they're two characters. Yeah, they come from different backgrounds and different stories, and they fight in a different way, but they take on anyone, and they give it a crack. And I think we had a...
Andrew McCart says it straight. This fight feels more like a check-cashing gamble for Whitey than a real competitive ambition. Moses Itauma is a storm on the rise, and Whitey looks like a man cashing in before it's too late. You can tell Andrew knows Moses needs a name to break through, but Dillian Whyte, he might be unknowingly walking into his own end credits. When fighters start asking for X amount of money just to show up, it means one thing: they know what's coming, and deep down, Whitey probably knows too. He's not chasing glory, he's chasing survival. Meanwhile, Moses isn't just training to win, he's training to ruin people, and that changes the energy completely. This isn't a test, it's a warning shot to the heavyweight world.
I mean, I like the fight. The reason being is because Moses Itauma, we've been saying now, is that guy. He needs that test, he needs that step up. And I think Dillian Whyte is that guy. Dillian Whyte's probably found it hard now to get that big fight. He's probably said, I'll fight Moses Itauma if you give me X amount of money. And that's probably why this fight.
What makes Moses truly dangerous is what he just admitted. He's not satisfied. He's destroying everyone too fast and not getting rounds in. Think about that. Most fighters dream of knockouts. Moses is bored of them. And the Usyk comparison, that's bold. To claim a better skill set than the pound-for-pound king takes serious belief. But coming from Moses, it doesn't sound delusional. It sounds scary realistic. He knows Usyk has the edge in deep waters, and that's why Moses wants to go there himself. He's not chasing highlight reels, he's chasing experience, endurance, domination. That level of maturity and self-awareness at his age is terrifying, and Whyte might end up being the poor soul that that helps him get those later rounds, or not even make it out of the early ones.
Yeah, we're just looking at fights to kind of get me into that later round, because I feel like with Usyk, I feel like I've got a better skill set than him, but I feel like towards the later rounds, he'll just outdo me, because I've never been in that sort of fight.
Even Peter Fury, a man who's trained world champs, is shaking his head in awe. Peter Fury's seen it all, and even he looks like he's trying to wrap his head around Moses' rapid rise. Ticks all the boxes. That's the kind of phrase you use when someone's terrifyingly complete. The only reason Fury adds the "he's not really been tested" disclaimer is because nobody's lasted long enough to do so. That's not a flaw, that's dominance. And calling it early days doesn't hide the fact that everyone in boxing is quietly bracing for this kid to take over. Power, speed, toughness, ring IQ, Moses is putting it all on display. The only thing missing is a name like Dillian Whyte to fall at his feet. And if you listen close, Fury's not dismissing Moses, he's subtly saying, watch this space.
Fabulous young talent. He's got speed, he's got power, he's tough, he's game. He ticks all the boxes so far. So let's see. Again, he's young. You know, he's not really been tested because what he's doing to these opponents. So let's see, it's early days, but big future for him. If he continues on the road he's doing it.
Even Frank Warren, who's promoted legends, sounds like he's watching the next one rise. When Frank Warren talks about a puncher, pay attention. He's managed some of the baddest to ever do it. And here, he sounds like he's watching the rebirth of old school heavyweight danger. Moses isn't just finishing guys, he's folding them. Quickly. Frank knows the narrative. People want to see Moses in deep waters. But the truth is, no one's been able to drag him there. Why? Because he lands clean and shuts the lights off. Plain and simple. You don't need to see someone swim when they're sinking every boat that enters the water. Frank's calm tone hides the reality. Moses isn't just ready for the top, he's terrifying the top. And now Whyte steps in as the next name on the list. We've seen how this movie ends, and it's not a happy one for the veteran.
He's gone the distance once, but I'm talking about with somebody who doesn't fiddle around, somebody who actually would like to get him in the latter rounds and is capable of knocking people over. You know, he's a puncher, you've seen him do it, and he's done it.
Gareth A. Davies might be playful in delivery, but listen closely. He's practically obsessed with Moses Itauma. When the media starts hounding promoters ringside for answers, it means something's cooking, and the whole boxing world wants in. Moses has become the conversation, not just for his knockout power or potential, but because of how he's doing it. There's a mystique building around him. Gareth's fascination mirrors what fans and insiders alike are feeling. This kid is electric. There's pressure from fans, media, and the business itself to fast-track him. Fighters like Whyte don't just take these matchups for fun. They're called out because promoters see the perfect opportunity, a fading name versus an unstoppable prodigy. And when Gareth's mic is poking for answers, it's not gossip, it's a signal. Moses isn't coming, he's here.
Well, wanting to go there because Moses Itauma is fascinating. I spoke to Francis Warren ringside on Saturday night. You had a microphone as well. Were you allowed to put the pressure on them to speak? Because I just did anyway.
You can hear the cracks in Dillian Whyte's voice, trying to sound calm, calculated, strategic, but it reeks of a man overthinking. He knows what he's walking into, a feral, fearless force of nature named Moses. Itauma. While Whyte talks about angles and timing, Moses is out here ripping through pads like they owe him money. Dillian's trying to sound technical, but it feels like he's trying to convince himself he still belongs. And let's be real, this isn't the same Whyte from the AJ or Chisora fight.
Punches than that, and I have a lot more punches than that. So, I'm not just focusing on one punch. I'm focusing more on strategy and getting to the strategic position to learn what we're learning. It's southpaw, so you can't just walk up to him and learn left hook and then the same like you do on other people. So you have to set it up and timing and stuff. So yeah, I've just been working more on that.
And while Whyte clings to game plans, others like Simon Jordan are seeing through the smoke and calling it how it is. Simon Jordan's commentary cuts right through the noise. This fight isn't about risk, it's about exposure.
It's a great fight, but it'll be fascinating to see how Moses goes against Dillian. I don't think they put him in against Dillian Whyte if they think there's real jeopardy for them. I think they might get a few rounds and get asked a few more questions than possibly they've been asked by Marius Wack and Dempsey McKean, but I don't think they think much more.
When even Joe Rogan, someone who covers the fight game from MMA to boxing, chimes in with a guaranteed asterisk moment, you know this fight has everyone's attention. Rogan isn't breaking down technique or talking legacy. He's focusing on pure reaction.
The Daily Mail's reported tonight that Boxer and Sky Sports are not renewing their deal with Boxer. Is this the last time we're going to see Johnny Nelson for some time?
And finally, Johnny Nelson weighs in. And while he gives Whitey some credit, even he admits the painful truth about where Dillian's at now. Johnny Nelson tries to be respectful, but even in his compliment, he drops the harshest truth. Dillian Whyte might just be a gatekeeper. Let that sink in. A man who once stood inches from world titles, now possibly being viewed as a final exam for prospects like Moses. And that he'll fight anybody line. That's not praise anymore. It's a warning that he's too brave for his own good. Because the man he's walking in with isn't just another hungry fighter. He's a fast, powerful, cold-blooded finisher who doesn't respect reputations. Nelson knows it. He's seen what happens when the old guard tries to survive against the new wave. And calling it a good test is code for if Whitey survives a few rounds, fair play. But survival isn't enough. Moses isn't just here to win. He's here to replace, and if Whitey's now the gate, Moses is about to kick it off its hinges.
His turn next, and he claimed that the best case scenario for the world would be Tyson's victory via KO. Adding to that, Rogan mentioned that the best case scenario would be Jake Paul, quickly realizing he is facing Mike Tyson, especially in the first round or two. Needless to say, this emotion was shared by the MMA veterans as well.
Best case scenario for the world is that he knocks Jake Paul out.
Yeah, best case scenario is...
This isn't just another heavyweight scrap, it's a generational collision. On one side, you've got Dillian Whyte, the war-worn bruiser who's been through the fire but is now edging toward the twilight.